Hi everyone.
Hey, I'm Sasha Burson.
My name is Natalie, and today we got a question from John out of New York. And his question is, I'm about to hire a marketing agency, so what questions should I ask?
All right, so John, that's a great question, and I think that most people are not thinking strategically when they hire marketing agencies. So they call and they just say, I need this, but do not know what to ask. So that's a really, really good question. So hiring a marketing firm obviously is a very, very important decision, because marketing firm is the one that's going to be responsible for driving your growth. So number one question that you should ask them is, can they show you results in similar cases to yours? Just think about it, like the proof is always in the pudding. Have they worked with other professional service organizations? What was the starting point and what was the outcome? And if they could go in deeper without revealing the client's name perhaps, and explain just what was the ROI, how they have managed to deliver it. You need to make sure that you're talking to like intelligent agency that can actually explain things, right? If they can explain very intelligently what they have done in order to take the client from point A, which is the starting point, to point B, which is the point where the client achieved the desirable results, I think that that's like 80% of what you need to know about the agency, right?
In case an agency did not have real clients and they're about to lie to you,
Yeah.
do you think that that could happen? How can John further make sure that is actually the case?
That's a really good question, but at the same time, here's the thing. Attorneys, adults, especially parents, usually have a really fine-tuned BS meter. So if they intelligently explain to you something, but you hear BS, like you will catch it. You gotta ask them questions that will possibly throw them off. Now, how do you know what will throw them off? Just go into specifics. Like, okay, so what'd you do for them? Oh, we ran a PPC campaign and did SEO. Okay, tell me more about the PPC campaign. How'd you structure it? Like, what were the keywords that were driving most success? Mm-hmm. Like, were there any keywords that didn't work? What about SEO? What'd you do for SEO? Mm-hmm. How does SEO actually work? Like, so can they actually explain how SEO works? Because like that acronym is thrown around so much, but like what actually goes into SEO? And like we've comparison shopped certain marketing firms that are in our space, and there is a lot of BS, like pure BS. People don't understand what SEO is, and they're trying to sell it like here's what we'll do and this will do, but in reality, it's like the things that don't work, because this is like a tip of the iceberg of what needs to be done to actually get you into those organic positions.
Okay, so maybe the starting point can be, do they have separate people responsible for separate things? Because obviously if they have just one marketing person doing PPC, SEO, project management, that's not gonna make any sense.
Yeah, that's a good question as well, because you gotta have experts, right? And a person who is an expert in pay-per-click or Google Ads, as you will see them at the top, is highly unlikely to be an expert in all things SEO. In fact, it's highly unlikely that you will have one expert in all things SEO, because, and when we talk about SEO, let me just expand on that. SEO, for all practical purposes, all that means is the work that needs to go in for you to be found in organic listings, which means after you see the ads on Google, after you see the map listings, actually in the map listings and just below the map listings, you get there by having search engine optimization done on your website and off your website. Let me take it a little step further, and I'll explain more in another video one day. But the more authority your website has, the higher it's going to be ranked for certain keywords. Which means that if your website has very high authority, Google looks at it and says, this website has very high authority, we really trust it above others, it's going to push you up, your website up in those rankings, and you will show up. If it doesn't see your website as having high authority, it will not be showed up. And once again, SEO or search engine optimization happens on the website and off the website. And there are a number of things that need to be done on-site and off-site. So there is no single expert that will do here, write content, build backlinks, do technical SEO, do tags. I mean, it's just too much for one person to do. So also definitely ask them about the team, who is on the team and what it is that they do. And like, don't be afraid to ask questions that you may not fully understand. And when you hear an answer that you do not get completely, don't be afraid to ask them to elaborate.
Yep.
If they can intelligently elaborate, they're probably for real.
And I think it's really hard to work with clients that don't understand something. So that's why we as a team try to educate our clients. If they don't know what SEO is and what exactly we're doing this month or next month, we do try to educate people. And I think this is one more thing for you, John, to keep in mind is that it's not just hiring an agency and be done and expect them to do everything, but you ideally would also want to understand what it is that the agency is doing.
Yeah. So that's a great point. And another thing to think about, to ask is, how do you report results? Like, can you show me a sample report
and what are the results?
Walk me through it, right? And the results, because like a professional agency like us, shameless plug, what they will do is they will give you a monthly report and they will actually like present it to you every month and explain, here's what's been done over the last month. Here are the business driving outcomes, the key performance indicators that actually impact your business. Like the number of phone calls that you got that actually turn into business. Like the number of inquiries to the contact us form that actually turn into business. They will go through those things and they will tell you what will be done the next month.
Yep.
I think a lot of attorneys, like I think this to your point, I think what they do is they kind of let it go. They hire a firm and they're like, I expect them to take care of things. And then it's been 6 months. And
then they start asking questions.
And then they start asking questions, right? But like what about 6 months? And what's really mind-blowing is that quite often the way attorneys shop or any other entity shops is they look for a low-cost provider. It kind of like says the things that you want to hear, and they're like, okay, so our price tag is $1,500 a month, and you're like, that's affordable, that's within my budget. But they don't look at the flip side of it, which is like, okay, so that's within your budget, but what is your expectation? My expectation is to get additional $80,000 in business per month, right? So you want to invest $1,500 to get $80K in revenue, and if you do not ask them like exactly how they're going to deliver that much business for that $1,500, then they're probably going to fail you. So you have to look at this and say like, am I investing enough to get the outcome that I want? And very, very often there is this huge incongruence between the investment and the desired outcome, and that's why the desired outcome never shows up.
And I think this is another point is you would need to know what your desired outcome is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like more leads or more clients. Like you have to know, it's like today I get X number of phone calls. It's great when our clients, when they come to us, they're like, I get 40 phone calls. Out of those 40 phone calls, I get 10 clients. Now I do want to grow the firm and add like 3 associates in the coming year. For me to do that, I need to triple the number of phone calls, quadruple the number of phone calls. I need to go from 40 to 160. Can you do that?
And how much it's going to take.
Right, that's a good question. Like, can you do this, and what would it take? Money and time, right? Yep. Will it be like month 1 or will it be month 9 in the year? And how are you going to do it? A good firm should be a marketing firm, should be able to give you like projections and explain how they arrived at those projections.
And sometimes we do still get reports from previous agencies, from our new clients, and I'm astonished to see that there are sometimes reports on how many likes we got or how many clicks we got, which means absolutely nothing.
It's BS vanity metrics. Like they don't matter at all. They don't drive business. So any metric that doesn't drive business is irrelevant. Like you really only care about the metrics that matter. Traffic, converting into leads, either by phone or by contact us form, converting into new cases.
And cost per lead.
And cost per lead is huge, right? So what does it cost you? And this is a whole different story that like a lot of people don't understand how much that cost per lead matters. Like, if I pay $150 for a lead and it takes 4 leads to close 1 new client, so that's $600 customer acquisition cost, which is another incredibly important metric. And if a typical client going to spend $10,000 with me, I am going to put in as many of those $150 as I possibly can to get as much business as I can possibly generate, or as much leads as I can possibly generate to turn it into business, because the arbitrage between the investment and the outcome is huge. So today attention is still pretty cheap. So you got to invest the money to get it, but you have to understand the numbers. So that's another thing that John, when you talk to an agency, make sure that you understand the numbers that they're showing you, if they show you the numbers, and explain how they arrived at those numbers. That's like really important, because the thing is, just when I'm hiring an attorney, I want someone who's really intelligent. You as an attorney, when hiring a marketing firm, you should also hire someone who's like really intelligent, because your business and your lifestyle depends on it. Trust me, it absolutely does, because marketing agency will make it or break it, will help you succeed above average expectations, or keep things mediocre, or worse yet, will actually cost you money and not help you generate much of a return.
And we can talk about specific KPIs and numbers that we actually watch for our clients, and we would like you to also watch for yourself in a separate episode. But
Yeah, for sure.
This is it for this.
For sure. That's a
Thanks.
wrap. All right. Thanks for watching.